3, 2, 1. Welcome to the machine.
Welcome to You May Be Entitled to Compensation, but you've actually missed all of the conversation because we've been setting everything
We've
up
actually
for
just had
hours.
the best.
So
You guys
you're not going to
missed
ever
it.
hear it,
Sorry.
unfortunately. I finally worked out how to use a microphone, which is a novelty, and I've got headphones.
It's
which-
good for you.
And I've also got the light that is bigger than the sun,
Yeah.
so I feel like it'll bleach out the
I've
fact
ordered
that
this
I'm
in from the Light Fantastic.
21,000 years old. But this is a Christmas, I'd say it's a Christmas
Ooh,
edition.
Crimbo edition.
Yeah,
It's very
with-
festive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
festive. We've got Karl Allen,
Yeah.
the Karl Allen,
Of
artist
course.
extraordinaire, and also this week we've got Rob Goodwin, also artist, designer, just fresh off the wheel of time, extraordinaire, back in London
I
from
love
Prague
the Wheel of
for
Time.
one
Good.
night only.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're back for more than one night only.
Oh, yeah, for the foreseeable.
Okay, great. I'm very
it's
pleased about
Prague
that.
where they're filming.
It was.
Oh, look at you two.
And Cape
Round of
Town.
applause.
Yeah,
And
he's
Cape
been
Town.
everywhere.
Been
He's
everywhere.
You've
We-
been
Oh my
like,
God.
You've been in the desert. You've been.
That wheel has rolled
Can
all
you tell
over.
me the ending?
No,
Why?
I knew you were going to
Would
say
you-
I
that.
can't tell you anything.
He doesn't even know what the ending is.
No, I've got
That's
no
what I
idea.
mean. That's like no idea.
I had no
He's
idea at the
just been
beginning,
in a room,
middle, or the
like
end.
crafting,
Yeah.
like hammering leather, haven't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, it's been a bit
Basically,
of
you're
that.
like, oh, I'm going to make some lattice.
I mean, you make it sound so simple. It was actually quite
Oh,
complicated.
what did you do?
Do I? Do I make it so-
Yeah.
Crafting leather
You
in
know, I
a
was
room.
weaving dreams
You were
on my
weaving-
loom of time.
He was
and
weaving dreams.
Yeah.
Just hammering bits.
I love a
of leather.
loom of time.
He was-
That's a spin-off series.
Anyway, this show isn't just an advertisement of the Wheel of Time. It's essentially it's what we feel we're entitled to compensation for. And
And we had a good first episode last week.
Oh no,
we did,
this is
yeah.
going to be terrible compared
No,
to that.
no, it's
No.
fine. We did have a good first response, but it was quite rogue.
It
Do you know
was
what I mean?
very
It
rogue.
was really rogue. It wasn't even a list. Whereas this week we've actually
It was
got
kind
a
of like a
list.
hit list.
I mean, there
list.
was a hit list.
There was
yeah.
a hit list. We
What do you
went
mean?
through.
Well, I just had to get over the fact that my other co-host trashed my house, so I found a new co-host.
New
So
co-host.
we were just
Yeah.
Am I
getting over-
expected to do something like that as well?
Yeah,
no trashing
Next
of the
week,
house.
you'll be slagging off the ex-co-host,
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got it.
So
That's
it's
where it goes.
each
It
week
just
we
goes
go
round
through
and
them.
round. But
This is
luckily,
quite a commitment. I wasn't
Wheel of
expecting
time.
it.
but luckily, Karl hasn't been around my house yet, so it's
No.
fine. Neither of you,
Yeah.
so we've all got it to play for.
So it's anecdotes and vandalism.
Essentially,
Ooh,
yeah.
I
Very
like
good
that.
summary.
That's
very
a good
summary.
name
I
for
mean,
another
like-
podcast.
Well, we've got we also came up with another one this week or last week. Like, what was it? The crit shit or the shit crit?
The shit crit. Yeah, I love it.
But anyway, moving straight on, just about basically critting people's work.
Yeah.
Rob's looking really confused at us.
What have I signed up for with these people? I
Well,
don't know what this is.
It's piracy. It's radio piracy.
Welcome.
I mean, I don't feel I'm entitled to anything specifically today, but I feel like my hairdresser is entitled to compensation because I forgot to turn up for the appointment. So,
Right.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that tends to be a general theme. We look for things we're entitled to compensation for, and then we end up finding that actually people that deal with us end up needing a lot more
You're the-
compensation.
Right, I get it. I get
We're
it.
like, well, how did that work out? I fucking hate AO.
I'm starting to feel
Yeah.
that now myself.
Yeah.
So is there anything happened this week that you feel,
Um,
slight irksome? This is just like sort of breaking news, slight irritations from the week.
The only thing that happened this week that I suppose is I bit my own tongue.
Okay, well,
End of show. Thanks, everyone.
I mean, I suppose I can ask for compensation for my own brain.
well,
for
yeah,
that.
I feel like that's
I could.
me and the hairdresser today because I don't know why I thought it was 12 o'clock when it said 10. So it's the same. You're entitled to compensation from your body.
For my body, yeah.
I
There's
mean-
lots of things I could accuse my body of, and
I
I'm
mean, you have just, yeah. I mean,
yes,
you have
but
just kind of-
but I don't think that this week I just kind of it started off bad because I
Why?
came back to London.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
London.
You're entitled to
No, I
compensation
love
for-
That
London.
will always
You're
happen.
entitled to
I
compensation.
love London, but it was hard because I've been living in Prague, which was very easy, and then it started off bad, and then it's got really good. So I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to charge
That's
anybody
So
anything.
You can't. You've got to come on the
No,
show
I'm
and
gonna
complain. The whole thing is about
Yeah.
complaining.
I can complain about loads of things.
How
but
did you
just
even
not
get
that.
on?
I can, yeah. Someone
He's
vets.
Came round
Come
for
on with
sausages.
Toxic positivity.
Yeah.
Do you
Oh,
know what
this-
I mean? That's not what
Yeah.
we want.
Well, I did have
want-
some bad sausages this week, but
Right, well, who
No, I had
can we
some
blame for
lovely
that?
sausages. I
Did
had
you?
some lovely sausages this week.
Carl, what do you feel like you might, just news from the front line this week?
News from Frontline. So,
Nothing.
it's been terrible. When you
Well,
say that,
Carl came back
I'm-
from Bermuda,
I just
so
came
it's
back
been
from
terrible.
Bermuda.
So
Oh,
both
no.
of them can
so
fuck
I'm
off.
like, yeah, what the
One's
fuck am
come
I
back
going to
from
complain
Prague,
about?
and the other one's come back from Bermuda.
I tell you
I've
what.
been in Hackney all week, so everybody needs to give me a compensation.
yeah.
I fully need compensation for this news feed that I'm getting.
What?
Like,
What's this?
Every news feed that's on my phone is just, you know what? I've deleted everything to do with Trump. And anything that comes up with anything political that's American, because I just came back from being like gaslit for 4 years in the States. And so I've deleted everything.
Where were
And
you?
now
You were in
suddenly
Miami for 4 years.
It's all popping up again.
Oh,
And I'm
no.
like, well, how did it pop
Well,
up?
you can't. You have to be in the world as well.
I know.
It's like you want to
Ugh.
just have your own
It-
AI news
Because
feed
it's
that just
coming
says
over here.
everybody's gay
like
and
this
happy.
Musk and yeah. Fuck. Where's my rainbow unicorn screensaver
Yeah,
gone?
exactly.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
90s
Yeah.
Mean Girls on
I'm
repeat.
paying for Grinder, yeah. It's like £29 a month. I should at least be able to like just block out
Grind.
the shit of life, yeah.
Okay, so you're entitled to compensation from.
From newsfeed,
Okay.
algorithm. I want my algorithm to.
I want mine returned.
So you want to sue someone for the truth?
Oh,
lack of.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Is the truth? Can we
Wait,
sue someone for the
wait,
truth?
Any of
are
us?
we not post-truth now, though?
We're post-truth.
We promised
I'm
that.
definitely
We
post-professional.
promised it, but the truth keeps sneaking back in, doesn't it? Which is we're living in a terror dome.
Yeah, that is
So
a
do we
beautiful.
wanna-
Ooh, I love that. Yeah.
Do we
Terror
want to?
I
Can
love
we call
dinosaurs.
the new edition Terror
Yeah.
Dome? This is where we are. We are in a Terror Dome.
But we were promised post-truth, which meant the unicorns, and in the end we get nasty things creeping into our feet.
We get Freddy Krueger and
So
like
I don't
just
know.
like loads.
Sell
I mean,
me
like
the-
what did we learn this week? Like the woman.
Oh, yeah, you're back in.
that woman that was.
I thought you were
the
off.
woman in France that was like raped by 50 men. They finally gone. This is the world we're in.
Yeah.
She's entitled to a fucking lot of compensation.
Yeah.
Will she ever
There's
get
not
it?
enough money for that, is
No,
there? I
that
don't
is
think. Yeah.
fucking so brutal.
By your husband.
It's so.
It just makes me think, like, when Kevin's cooking for me, I think to myself,
Hang on, where's this going?
where is this going? That's what I thought. I'm halfway through the eggs. I'm like, did they used to have bits of blue pills in them? I don't.
I mean,
I'm not sure how cancelled I
This
can
is
get at this
dark.
stage. Yeah,
This
this
is
is dark.
This is an episode from the Terror Dome.
Yeah.
No, we're
Where's
now
the
in.
next flight to
Yeah.
Prague?
Can we all come? I'm sure me and Karl would be fine in your workshop, just like tapping away at things.
When you talk about that
Yeah,
lady,
Go on.
the massive thing was like the idea of shame of not coming forward, because apparently it's happened to one of the other wives of one of the men
really?
that were
No.
in it. Yes, so he didn't get charged with. There was this. So they showed the list of 50. And
The
the
50
second,
men,
50
yeah.
men, and the second guy was not charged for raping her, but he was part of the WASIP, but he has now been charged with doing the same thing to his wife.
What is
and he
going
had
on
two
in that
kids.
But hang on, though.
Yeah.
But hang on.
I mean, that's like the Village Has Eyes
Yeah.
meets with like the League of
Could you
Gentlemen.
But they
imagine?
could all those 50 men could get
It
jobs in
is.
the American administration, though, couldn't they?
They could.
They're
all get
qualified
jobs.
now.
They could,
Yeah.
they could
Qualified.
be the president of the United States.
The entire
They just
cabinet.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just choked on my own Terror Dome. But that's what's
I
terrifying.
know. That's the way it's going, isn't it?
I mean,
Everybody.
also the fact that every woman that I know has been sexually assaulted, or like, I mean, I've been drugged and raped a few times. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's a casual thing these days.
It's so, yeah.
It's like we're all entitled. I don't think. But what is there any other conversation that you can have for that? This is really like Christmas.
Yeah, hang on.
I know.
Hang on, I've got like.
Yeah.
Ah!
Where? How did we
I'm
get
really
from?
like
Okay,
not
let's-
sure if I've got the right material for this.
Moving straight on. What was interesting this week is that I met up with an old friend, and I'd kind of had this intuition that I was like, I'd put it off for a year, put it that way. Someone that I went to school with. And at the end of the day, what came down out of it was that he essentially, asked me he's married, and he was like, oh, and by the way, and I was like, right.
Where's this going?
Really?
Yeah.
How, by the way, how far? Are we allowed to say? No, because he might
No,
be
he
listening.
was like, if you want to have an affair. I was like, no, sorry, no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, what?
Yeah.
This is so
Yeah.
bleak. Like
Well,
of all of that,
it's the Christmas week, and
it's a Christmas special.
It's Christmas.
Christmas special.
Who wants an affair?
That is not what I wanted from Santa.
I wonder what
Do you
this
know what I
is.
mean?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah, don't
however,
unwrap it in front of the family.
We have gone down a slight
In fact, yeah.
loophole, but which is as to be expected. But what I was suggesting as a topic this week was to talk about the entitlement. I think we should be given to compensation as an artist for just.
well, there is.
For this many
what country
years.
are you? What country is it that actually pays artists, and they get? It's almost like a stipend. You get paid as an artist.
I think that was 14th century France.
I think we're talking the Medicis.
No.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Leonardo
The past
da
is another
Vinci.
country, I don't
The
know.
past is another country. So years ago,
Yeah,
in the
we're gonna have to get
in
production
the 12th
on that.
century.
I mean, I'll look into it, but I don't know if I can go there. I mean, if
don't-
I get
there is.
I'd
past,
love to go back to the future.
I think
If we can-
Brexit's scuppered that as well, isn't it?
Brexit's
So I
scuppered.
can't. What you mean? I can't go back nowadays? They've
the
taken back
future.
control, so I can't go back to the 14th century France.
That's it. They
Bloody Farage. Grrr.
they Brexited you from time travel.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a good one. So Oscar, check it out. Check out online while
Oscar's
we're
our
chatting.
assistant.
I know Oscar's on his phone. I want
Oscar's
compensation
looking it
for
up.
this one.
He's looking
Why
it
would-
up.
Are you
He's
looking it up?
Oscar is
Okay, so take a look. There's a country in the world that actually compensates you for being an artist. You get paid
Who?
a stipend.
I think
We'll
they
leave
put
him
you
with
in this
that one.
massive studio with bars on the window, and then like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Right, but-
Okay. I think that's what it's called.
I mean, I've just.
You don't pay for your meals. You get to walk in the yard for like an hour.
Well, yeah, it's fucking jail.
So
Yeah.
compensation I think for artists exists.
Yeah, but what in the 14th century? This is what we've established.
Or a prison in the modern day.
Yeah, we're about to
Well,
find
I
out.
feel like I'm in a prison in London being an artist currently after 25
Maybe my
years.
algorithm's just trying to like play with me, gaslight me.
But then what do you...
Do you not? Do you not?
Well, it
But you're
depends.
doing
I'm not going
Rob's-
to even
Rob's
call
doing
myself an
all-
artist.
Oh, come on,
though.
you
Come
are an
on.
artist, though.
Thank you, it's very kind, but I don't know if I want to be called that. Oh, I like to think
All
I
right,
am.
see,
I'm
maybe this is
private.
why he's doing
No,
better.
because he gets paid for a
This is
living.
why he's doing better
Yeah.
than I am. Because he's like, I've diversified.
So you work with
I don't-
leather.
I work with
I mean,
leather.
it's-
I do work with all sorts, but yeah, leather seems to be the
Cool.
the peg to hang it all on.
It's pretty. It's
Nice.
pretty genius. It's not. This is not casual leather work. Do you know what I mean?
Cool,
He made this
yeah.
punch bag that is a flight of lunacy. It's like the most beautiful thing you've seen.
That's very kind of you. Thank
Well,
you.
no, it's absolutely. You
If
have
only
to,
I knew where it was now.
What you?
Do you not
What
know
you-
about that?
What happened?
No. Oh
So-
God, you're entitled to compensation already for
Yeah,
this.
I know. Well, no, it's my fault. I don't know if
Oh
anyone
my
can pay me
God.
this money. So basically, I made this. It took me 7 years to make it.
It was,
Because
it
I-
was the most exquisite thing you've ever seen. If you ever
It's a
look at it on
full-size
Rob
punch
Goodwin,
bag with like the entire surface of it is covered with these fighting cockerels made out of collage of images, and it's called Dukes, which is in boxing is the name they used to Cockney rhyme saying for your hands. Duke of York's forks. So it's got all hands and it's got all this kind of imagery. Spent ages doing it. Went through hell of my own making to do it. When it was done, it was met with massive indifference.
Oh come on!
As
really?
you do.
Did you think it was met with
It was
a
met with
difference?
massive indifference. So the
It
thing
was
is,
so-
well, let's just say it wasn't met
But
with a
where were
massive
you?
paycheck,
Where
but
was
it
it
was met
shown?
nowhere because no one seemed to be that bothered about showing it. So what I did,
It was just crazy because it is
But
the
anyway,
most beautiful
I
thing you've
mean,
ever seen.
but the thing with it is I went a bit mad. Put it in a box, built a box for it, like a coffin
The
type
box was amazing as well.
Yeah, the box was
also
insane.
like
The box was insane.
biz-
Put the punch bag in it. Shoved all my disappointment in this box as well and locked it.
Oh, he's so
And then-
dramatic.
and
I
then-
love
Drama.
it.
And then I sent it off.
Aerodome.
Then I sent it off to put in storage. And then a few months later, I realised the storage people hadn't charged me for the storage rental. You know, the monthly rent.
Oh my God,
So I
can't
tried to
believe it.
find them, and then I realised, and I thought, well, they're not chasing me. I'm broke. So I didn't
you
chase them
left
up,
it.
and then I left it for months. And then suddenly I thought I better actually find out where this is and what's going on. And it
This
turned
is
out
a
that company.
compensation claim.
Yeah.
by
Then
the
that
way.
company went bust. And then I
Someone's
didn't know where
joking.
I didn't know where the thing was. It's this thing I devoted my life to. Eventually, I did about a year track it down to this company, but they still haven't charged me any rent for this. Was like years ago. So and I never had until recently. I never had the money to get it
What?
back out of storage. So I've left it there. And I don't know if they know. No one's really discovered it. It must be just covered in dust somewhere.
Okay, we've got to find it. Can we do? This feels like this is a kind of.
This is a
crowdfunder.
compensation claim.
This is like the best.
But I kind of like the idea of some
Rob was
future.
like, I can't think of anything to talk about. I mean, this is major.
Yeah.
We could also
No,
do.
I mean my conversation I was thinking of was much deeper than that in a way. But
Go
we
on.
don't have to. We don't have to.
No, but this is
Let's
the
go
point
deep.
of this. Is the
Yeah.
point. It wasn't.
Because I think that's kind of my fault. That one, the punch bag. But I think the people I would sue, if I had to sue them for compensation, would be a combination of Singer sewing machines and my mother.
Beautiful.
At the same time.
Please explain.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about it, and I think, well,
Double-ended claim. Let's hear
yeah,
it.
there are two claimants on it. I love my mother. She's the greatest human, being ever. She's this tiny little Jamaican woman. Her fault I'm coming to. Singer sewing machines, I'm suing them not because they made a faulty product, but they actually made a very good product that was affordable. That's why I want to sue them.
That was affordable.
It's affordable and a very good product. That's why I want to sue them.
Right. Okay. This
I'm
is an
feeling a
unusual
promo
claim.
coming
I
up.
feel like he's PR.
Yeah.
This is good.
And
Let's
also,
keep going.
I
This
feel
is
like we
good.
need to do a crowdfunder for the boxing.
For the
This
boxing.
This is a documentary in itself. Rob.
Well, I would say the thing is the
Documentary.
punch bag is kind of a fruit of this claim.
Of your Lloyd.
It's a fruit of this claim.
Right.
Because so my problem is, when I was a kid, so like we're talking about when I was about 10, 8, 9, 10 years old, my mum had a sewing machine, a very good Singer sewing machine. It was affordable, as I might have mentioned.
Yeah. Quite a few times. PR.
That Singer sewing machine. Anyway,
Okay.
so she had that.
Sponsored by Singer this week. Well, last week it was sponsored by AO.
Yeah. Well,
We slagged them off. Now we're bigging up Singer.
Bigging them up. What it is so my mum got this sewing machine. We had no money, but she could afford this. She used to knock up the curtains, make alterations for the neighbours, make a bit of money,
Wow.
do that. Now, the problem
we'll
for me...
edit that to Mum used to knock up the neighbours.
You knock up the neighbours and take them in.
Close
So
the
she-
curtains.
Don't mention curtains. But she... anyway, so
It's Christmas special.
that sewing machine...
For the kids.
That sewing machine was hammering away day and night.
Yeah.
Come on.
I bet she was.
Cuts, edit. And part of the reason I want to see my mum is because she's tiny, and I never really grew into a full-size man because of the genes I think that I got from her. So that's another thing I'm suing her for, right? And this all ties in because what happens? I've got an older sister. She's 3 years older. Now, being from a poor family, I got her hand-me-down clothes, right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's...
1979, 1980 in London, like South London. I'm wearing flared trousers that girls want with a zip on the side,
Yeah.
and blouses
Just
with the
wishing your sister was a dyke. You're like,
This
oh
is
my
at-
God.
This is at the
Could've been
time
so
when
much
it's
better.
like the specials and Selector and Scar. And everyone's
Oh,
wearing the drain
no.
pipes and little collared shirts. So I was going to school wearing the blouses from the 70s.
No. Is this true?
This is true. And I said to my mum, I need some clothes that are mine because... And also at that time, they didn't really sell them that were my size. I was too small for this. My mum didn't want to spend on the smaller size, so she said, you can still get a good few years out of your sister's clothes. And I was going to get my head kicked in, Mum. I'm not going to survive that long. And then I noticed that the sewing machine in the corner,
Hit it.
Okay.
the one that's affordable and a good product, I thought, well, if you're not going to do it, I'll sew these. I'll show me how to do it.
Yeah,
I'll take these trousers in.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I see what she's done.
So
I see what she's done.
So I was like, I'll learn how to sew then. Go on then. Throw down the gauntlet.
Yeah.
I can make gauntlets now if you ever want any.
But I
But
need some for next week, actually.
yeah, that's okay. So I had to learn to sew, and of course they were rubbish. You know, the things I made fell apart, but they somehow worked. And my mum kind of said, "Still not buying you boys' clothes. So I had to still carry on.
your
so
mum's a
specific.
sadist.
That's
Yeah.
just... That is really something
Yeah.
else.
So-
Your
I
mum's
mean,
like, I wish I
but-
had a trans child.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
the reason I'm
it's so
suing them, do you know why I'm
unusual.
suing them? Because of this, and because it kind of worked. By the time I got to 17, 18, I was clubbing. I was making clothes for bands. I was making clothes for myself. I was making all sorts of stuff. It led me into this erratic life I've now got. So what I'm really suing my mum and Singer sewing machines for is a lifetime of bizarre career choice bizarre social life that came out of this.
You had the best upbringing.
I mean, that is pretty good.
Can you
though.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
though?
no, I can. I think
If I'd have had a
really...
normal life, like my friends from Bexley, I'd be working an estate agent now. Wouldn't I have a normal, good life? You see,
You'd probably have nice
You'd-
money,
would have a nice house,
nice bit of cash.
nice house,
I
a
think
car.
you would
Yeah.
be. I think you would be mental.
Be at the football, wouldn't I, every week, like all the fellas?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would.
Instead, I'm hanging around with all the queers and the weirdos
How
and all
terrible.
that, wearing strange trousers and skirts.
Yeah.
All the
Yeah.
people who are
Making the most insane
all the terrible,
headway.
worst people you can ever imagine, and then never knowing where the next penny's coming from, whether it's from Prague or Cape Town.
So did
or-
your mum ever say you can thank me later?
Well, I'm saving up. I'm making a wonderful pair of trousers.
Of gauntlets.
So
I mean,
that's
that is
what
a
I'm doing.
really, you know what? That
See?
kind of actually,
Oops.
there's a
Oh, sorry.
really good, there's a really good
Cool.
example of what, of compensation.
Yeah.
Of it turning around.
I don't think
full
that
circle.
Mike
Does that
has ever been manhandled
I'm
so much.
swinging it about.
He's swinging and yanking on that mic.
yanking your handle. I think that we should get, and the conversation I'm asking for is, I think,
Yeah,
either
what does it look like? Because that's one of it. 'Cause some
Yeah.
of it's not monetary. Like, even if you want whatever compensation you want, that's one of the questions that I want to start asking people each episode is like, what does compensation look like for you anyway? In this case, it looks like in a very different form than what this idea of, you've lost a phone and you get a new phone, or you get like the equivalent in money, or you lose a life, you don't
Yeah.
get any. Well, you don't get it. Someone else
Yeah.
might get it.
No.
It's
Yeah.
it's never enough money, is it?
I think my mum and dad coming into Prague was great. That was a conversation because they saw the fruits of their
Of their sadist
of their
slave
sadist
slave-
past.
They got to see the squalor I was
What
living in
was-
because of them.
So you're not really asking for like compensation. You're asking
could
for
do the-
reparations.
Yeah.
Reparations.
Yeah,
I
thanks,
did-
Mum.
Thanks, Mum. Look at this. Look what you've subjected me
But
to
did
because of your.
What did your dad? Was your dad in and out? What was he?
My
doing?
dad's always been around too much. Some would say he's a writer, so he had a fine mind. He's a very lovely, strange man. So he added to this as well. So
But
he's
how
part of
did
this.
How was he all right with you wearing? He was fine with you wearing like your sister's
Oh, he
clothes?
doesn't mind. My dad doesn't think like that. He's in a different kind of world.
Okay.
He's actually. I would say that in a way they're both quite enlightened in that way. I think they're both coming from. See, what we don't understand is whippersnappers like us. Is that generation really didn't have anything. When my mum was in Jamaica, when she was up to the age of 16, it was like from pillar to post, living in the basically like shanties with her grandma. So a sewing machine, any clothes was something. My dad post-war,
Sure.
so we were used to, even though we grew up with that era when it was probably the first top shops and stuff, and we could suddenly see fast fashion starting to emerge, they were still like, well, there's plenty of years left in that pair of old slacks.
Yeah, I'm getting.
I still feel like
I'm
that
getting
now.
like that now.
I feel like that now.
Yeah, I never
feel
used to be
now.
like that, but now I think after I went to Cuba, I'm like, don't throw anything away.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be re-sewed,
Yeah.
everything. And I never
I mean,
used to be like that.
yeah.
Or you buy the same kind of jeans
make
over and
it-
again anyway,
Or
don't
make it
you?
yourself. I mean, I suppose that's what I've often done, and I had the
Do you
I draw the
sew?
line at one.
Yeah, I've always
me too.
sewn. I've always sewn since I was little, but then I've always worked with people that can sew. But I would make my own things or work with people that I've always made my. It's kind of preferable. To
I
go
draw the
and
line at underwear though. I don't make my own underwear.
No, I mean,
I'd make 'em
I
for
have
somebody
made
else.
a bikini.
Yeah.
I have made a bikini.
Have you?
Yeah. But that was when I was. But then I did a clothing range. But yeah, but
I remember your clothing range.
oh yeah, it got ripped
Like
off.
when
I'm
we
entitled to
first met
I got
you,
entitled
like
to conversation
in
for that.
Soho.
Two agency basically produced it all in Malaysia really badly, and then they sold it to TK Maxx. It was terrifying.
Hang on.
I was told all over the world that there was this whole. I was supposed to be doing this like menswear and womenswear capsule collection. I spent a phenomenal amount of time patterning the whole thing, making the whole thing. With who I was working with at the time, which was Paul, who anyway, that's another story. But and then two agency that were in the building in they were a bunch of CUNTs. And they basically did the production on it really badly and used my patterns, the same patterns for the first collection, which was really bizarre. So I never understood that. And then basically when I said, look, this isn't, you haven't even, when the production was bad, and they wouldn't change anything from it. They then sold it all, my first collection, to TK Maxx. And this was when TK Maxx was just starting. So, which is even kind of worse, because then it was really trash. Now it's kind of, TK Maxx now is kind of, you're like, oh, we'll get that for cheap. But like when it first started, you were like,
do I really?
It didn't really have the same, it's somewhere else now. I don't know what category it's in. But yeah, my first collection was basically premiered in TK Maxx.
Did you make,
like,
did
I
you
didn't
make
and I made
clothes
no
for like,
money.
did you ever make clothes for like your, social friend, like clubbing and friends like you did, didn't you? Did you make that?
I mean,
maybe?
more for myself. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm going to make it for myself.
Yeah.
And then somebody, I think, but that's how I started. But then somebody be like, oh, I'd made jewelry. And then people would be like, oh, can I have one? I'd be like, well, maybe.
I remember there was this first time I met my friend Steve, one of my best friends.
Steve.
And, he's lovely man.
Not Steve Strange.
No, not Steve Strange.
Oh.
He's quite strange, but he's not. That's the one. But he, and it was like, because I was making clothes when I was at college. I wasn't studying fashion. I never studied it until much later in life. But
well, you end up going to do I can never pronounce.
Footwear, what cordwainers, yeah.
Cordwainers.
Cordwainers, yeah.
I can never pronounce it.
Cordwanglers.
Where'd you do cord wangling?
But I was caught doing cord wangling down an alley once, but I then got away with that.
But then that's when you started working for David Bamber, isn't it?
No, so what happened was, so the long and short of it is, I was making clothes to not get beaten up in Bexley. Then I went to college in Croydon.
Oh, then you did.
And then that's when I was studying with Noel Fielding.
How did we not meet?
Then
He was
I
doing
went
the
to
Mighty
Ashburton.
Boosh for years.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well then.
Yeah, I was born in Croydon Hospital, Mayday.
Yeah, my
Which
sister was born
they
there.
don't call it Mayday
No,
anymore
no.
because it'd be like
it's because
because
it's
it got changed to everyone was like, oh, maybe you live, maybe you die.
Yes.
So now it's Croydon General. No.
My sister was born in that hospital, but no, I went to college but we started going clubbing, and then I met lots of around that time. It was the sort of jazz thing,
Heaven?
more than. No, I was more into sort of like bands.
Ronnie's.
Yeah, Ronnie Scott's, and there was clubs and I got involved in running a club in Camden when I was about 17 or something.
Didn't we all?
Yeah, exactly. I know. They couldn't believe their luck. There's some mug wanted to be involved in doing all that. But then I got to meet. Fun enough, we got to
York Way. What's the Bagleys? Yeah, I used to have a club in
okay.
Bagleys,
Oh,
like on
yeah.
a Tuesday. I used to steal pound coins and put them in my shoes, and people coming in for the coat money. And then, like on week 3, I looked up and I realised the camera is pointing right at me, and I'm stuffing pound coins in my
Oops.
shoes. Yeah,
Caught red
went
handed.
upstairs and ended up being
Yeah.
shagged on a desk by my boss.
Okay, well,
New story.
right,
Yeah,
okay.
let's go
Anyway,
on
so
somewhere.
let's go back to
That's
the
not where my story goes. Mine doesn't go down that
Well,
route.
can we we're going to go back to that because there's a similar theme to last week. There seems to be a
Right.
theme with
Okay.
Carl having sex at work
Okay.
and getting sacked or
Yes,
getting away with
yeah.
things.
That
Or
never happened to me.
The word sack comes into it somehow.
Yes. In bag making, yeah. No, I
Less
made clothes
Mighty
for.
teabag.
I made strange. What are we doing? This is not the podcast. I was.
Babe.
It's just you said teabag and you're like, Dude, both of us doing ASMR. Oh, I can never pronounce it. Anyway, go on. Continue.
yeah,
Sorry.
where was
We're
that?
not meaning to
Yeah.
disrespect
Yeah.
you,
No,
but you're
no,
making
no.
clothes.
Yeah.
We're
It's
fully
more-
in,
yeah.
but like...
I
don't
feel
know
like
why
we're
I'm-
bullying you, but keep going.
I'm
'cause I
asking,
feel
yeah.
like you're enjoying
Yeah,
it.
go on,
yes,
go,
yeah,
get
yeah.
a code.
I don't know what I did. Jesus, what's going on?
It's Carl.
Yeah.
I blame everything on Carl.
You know it's not me, right?
What? I don't know what I was saying now.
Croydon.
Croydon, then
So,
clubbing,
because you were
then
a kid
clubbing.
from Croydon and you were managing a club in Camden.
Yes.
That's where at that point, and then I
Black Cat.
got to know like some bands, and there was like the brand new heavies. Remember them? And there was like, so I started making a bit of clothes for some of them, and then then the Britpop thing happened, which was that era, and I kind of was doing clothes, which was before it became all laddie and sort of like Adidas and sportswear. There was lots of that kind of interesting Steve Strange kind of crowd and post the Smashing kind of people we'd known, and it was all kind of like a bit Pam Hogg and people like that, and there was kind of a strange mix of kind of like the gay crowd and the indie crowd and Suede and Elastica and bands like that. It was all quite interesting, a bit Bowie-esque, and I loved all that, and I immersed myself in that, and I made clothes for that kind of thing. But before it got all laddie, I kind of was painting things on t-shirts in the mirror, so it was backwards, and it all felt punky and quite and making clothes that went with it, and strange bondage trousers out of weird materials.
But were you
And then,
mostly making them for other people, or were you making
Me
them
and
for yourself?
me mostly, and then someone say, "I want one of them." And I say,
Well,
okay.
you see, that's how I've always.
Yeah.
That's how it
Yeah.
works. I think I've always made something for myself, and then someone's like,
Yeah.
"I can have it," and I'd be like,
Yeah.
"No."
And then it all, but then fashion got quite sort of like,
Laddie-das.
you either like had to be McQueen, like on that level, or the whole high street stuff got to take over. So you didn't really have that room. It didn't feel to me that there was a room to make clothes like that. But then later on, when I had a massive mental breakdown, I thought, I'm either going to have to go into... I was working in television as well at the time. I was either going to have to go into editing or directing or something like that, which was quite difficult. Or I was having this moment for 2 weeks. I just sat on my sofa, like just staring out the window. And I suddenly came to the conclusion, I need to do something or I'm going to jump out the window. And it was like, one of them was be a tailor, which I quite like the idea of the skill of that, the discipline. And it goes back to the sewing. It's something I could do. The other thing was making furniture, because I quite like the idea of that. But I thought with suits, I'm going to have to work with city boys. I don't like the idea of them being my clients. No way do I want them to be telling me, snapping the fingers what they want.
Yeah.
Furniture could be the same, really, same kind of clientele. Then I thought about shoes, and I thought, that's quite interesting. I've never done that before. And I thought, well, I can make women's shoes. I don't have to deal with any fellas then. I can deal with, or, drag queens or women. I can do that. And then I looked into it, and it turned out the Cordwainer course, was around the corner from where I lived. So why not give it a go? But I was about 36, 7 at the time, and everybody in the course was like 17, 18. I was older than the tutors. But it was one of those leap in the dark where you think, I've got to give it a go, otherwise I'm going to drink myself into oblivion. And I have no plan B, so this has got to be it. And it was the best decision I've ever made in my life. And so all those skills I learned on that sewing machine, that Singer sewing machine, which is affordable and very... all of those skills from there kind of then got upgraded into doing a very niche, specific, with a different material, which was then... It ticked all the boxes for me. And then from then on, shoes up the body into the head pieces and all that.
Wow.
And then off the body into sculptures and now I'm not even thinking of using leather. I've met so many people doing interesting things. I quite like the idea of using prosthetics and
Definitely.
fabrics and things that are quite strange. And even AI or whatever. I'm just see myself now as somebody who can have an idea and see it and know how to make it. But that all came from a bit of my sister's old blouse and a sewing machine. It really did. I mean, I can see the link. So the compensation is what I've now got, I think.
Well, I think you've got it in the end after years of trying to work it out, though. That's the thing.
I can see why anybody out there. I mean, I don't want to turn this in any way inspirational, because we're going to go back to the filth in a minute. But I just kind of obviously
we are more layered than filth.
Don't worry,
just
we're
like
there.
to say
We're there.
But
I mean,
It's coming.
but-
I'm
There's
much
an
more
undercurrent.
nuanced.
swelling up. I can
Karl
hear
is
the
coming back
pipes.
in because
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the Bagley story.
I can hear the
literally-
pipes bursting with the sewage about to come out. and
Triggered under the
How
table.
very dare you?
Nobody looked down.
Outrage. This is
But-
a serious podcast.
But what I'd like to say to anybody out there is,
Our one listener. Tell 'em.
either drink on the sofa the 2 weeks and jump out the window,
well, that's me.
Yeah.
or
Sweet.
or go and learn how to make a thing out of
Right.
something.
Okay, Rob. But by the way, that has been me this week, and how many
Did you
things?
do both? Did you make something?
How many things have I fucking made? Like 90,000,000,000 things. I want some compensation for some of
Yeah.
them. I was like
Yeah.
looking around the house.
Did
today,
you make
go-
anything this week?
But
Yeah, fucking of course I did. I
Did
made
you
some-
What'd you
cord
make?
wangle though? See, that's the thing. You got cord wangle a bit.
What is
Tell
that
you
even
what,
mean?
I know, I love
like
cord
such
wangling.
wanker
I've
job.
been like cord
You know,
wangling
I've
on a
got a house.
Wednesday.
I'm always cord
Yeah.
wangling.
Like, I need 2 grams to cord wangle.
I have to wait till the missus is out before I do a bit of that.
However, no. What was your major point? So your major point is that if you're ever on the sofa,
Cord wangle.
he's turned this into.
I think if you're feeling
toxic
like-
positivity podcast.
Yeah.
If you're ever
How
in
dare
danger,
you.
I know. So
How dare you come on this
if you're ever in danger,
and make a positive statement?
You've made a
It's just a
change.
Christmas special.
Jeez.
I can save this. I can save this by saying so. Let's all sing and hug.
Yeah, let's try and save this somehow.
turning-
Stab him.
Quick.
Turn
Yeah,
it into
quick.
a positive story.
Yeah,
Turn
let's
it
go
And
there.
quick.
Yeah.
Despair. I need some despair.
Yeah.
I had a brain tumour.
That is true. But on that bombshell, we're going to come back.
Yeah, thanks.
Snacks.
On that bombshell.
He also learned how to use Mid-Journey while he was away.
Well, I had a brain tumour.
because
yeah.
he's never very good use of time.
Yeah.
Well, I was sitting there and I didn't really hurt. They'd
Did
done
you
a
do
good job.
Midjourney?
I learned it.
Yeah,
think
it's normally like that thing you do for a week and then you like forget about it and then you can't go back to it.
No,
'cause
I
you're
went.
like,
I went back to work
No, you
10
were-
weeks later, and it was all the things I'd done were all up as on the mood boards. So it had been used, but I was kind of like, but now I kind of use it. I find it quite.
When you say work at the wheel of time,
Yeah, basically.
what are you going to do
is-
now? It's finished.
Well, I've just come back panicking from Prague. Thing I was unemployed, and I thought if I'm going to be unemployed, I'll do it in Prague. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Come back to London, and then I was like, everyone was going, oh, we haven't really worked. It's all going to pick up. Everyone's like crossing their fingers. It's
No,
going to pick up.
it's
And I was like,
not. They're not
really? I'm
spending the
back in the
money.
queue.
Where's
like,
the money in production? It
He's
isn't
jumped.
there.
You know what? He's
But-
jumped to the front of the queue and
No,
nicked all
well,
of our
I just
jobs,
think
Karl. That's what's happened. We're entitled to compensation.
I think
from
you
Rob.
got
I
to.
know.
That's what we're
You've
entitled
got
to
to spread
compensation
your
from him.
spread your butter on every bit of bread out there.
Oh,
We've been spreading.
we've
We've been spreading, and no one's been eating our crust.
I've not.
That's the healthy bit.
Yeah.
That's the bit
Yeah.
that says on
No
your
one's
chest
been eating any
Yeah.
of my crust for a long
for a while.
Just before.
What are we doing?
Just before we even continue with the brain, I'm going to hold the brain tumour while I want to know what happened in Bagley's.
Oh, sorry.
So me and Chris,
Oh, it's always with you
it's
and
always
Chris.
with Chris. I know. So we were
This
going to
was
Bagley's, and a friend of ours was like running like the place, like not like the whole place, like certain nights. And he was like, hey, look, we're going to do like a Tuesday night. I'm going to give it to you. You can make whatever you want. You can rename it. So we made it. We called it Prism.
Buggleys.
Buggerlies.
Prism. I mean, God.
Something
What
like
was
that.
that? That's
So
quite
many
good.
wrong but good.
Yeah,
But
that's-
Sorry, yeah,
also
go on. I can't
cancelable.
help, yeah.
So we went to Bugley's, and he's like, "Yeah, you could call it whatever you want." We were like, "Oh my god, we're gonna call our club Prism."
Oh, good
and we were
God.
like, "You know,"
I
and
mean,
yeah,
that was a
and the
terrible
artist in
idea,
me,
like-
I'm like, you know what? If it's called Prism, it needs to be like a prism of light. I'll tell you what it ended
I mean,
up
that
being.
is not the artist in you. That is
So,
like.
I was like, our flyers are gonna be clear perspex,
Folded into
and
prism, isn't it?
the prism is going to be written in like holographic print on the clear perspex.
A really cheap edition.
Yeah,
then.
yeah. I thought
One of
there's
Karl's
only
really
going to be like
casual.
Do 2,000 of those.
Yeah.
And just give them out of Camden Tube.
there's only going to be like 10 people coming. Let's make 10 of them. So anyway, we fucking made them, and like the guy that was managing it was like, "How much were the flyers?" We were like, "Well, people are these are going to be
This is gonna be a
iconic, fucking
winner."
brilliant." Yeah, how could we lose? Anyway. So we started giving them out outside Heaven. People are coming out, cunted off their face, and we're giving them this thing in their face. People start freaking out. They're like, "Ah," like it's schizoing them because
Right,
you
'cause
can't
it
read
literally
it,
is- yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
literally flashing, and you're getting these tiny holographic
That's great.
clicks.
Have you got any left?
Yeah, they've
Yeah,
got.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
the
I mean.
weekend. I think I need one of those.
They could have been real, like icon, like if we'd have like made it, but we didn't. It turns out it was just one massive warehouse room, and the only way to market it was by saying, "Oh, we've got the biggest back room in Europe."
I've got
So-
the biggest what?
Back room, dark room. So we marketed it as the biggest dark room in Europe, and we had to put up like 1,000 like curtains that people would go around this maze and suck each other off. Anyway, so
By the way, I've just been to the new Punch Drunk. Has anybody been there yet?
No.
It's
very similar.
Oh,
I'm
have
not
you
saying
just-
anything, but
have
yeah.
you just
Where
been-
is it?
Oh, it's a new one.
Yeah. You
Oh.
walk through these kind of maze of sheets in the dark
Is
room.
it the biggest dark
Oh,
room in
see?
Europe?
I was before my
You
time.
were-
Yeah. So me and Chris were
It's
like, great,
art.
we're on the door. So we got the job on the door. We've marketed it. We've given out the flyers. We put the curtains up. People are coming in. They're jizzing everywhere. And me and Chris are like, me and Chris are like, I don't think we're being paid enough for this. Yeah. We're not getting enough money. And I'm like, well, we can't ask for any more money off him. Why don't we just, and people were coming in and their coats would just go here
Oh, so you would
on
just
the
stop
what's it.
putting-
So
you would-
we started taking the pound coins.
It's a good idea.
And I was like, well, we can't put them in our pockets. We're fucked. We put them in my shoe. So we started stacking our shoes.
You were like 4 foot
We're the
taller
only
by the time you
two-
left.
the only two cobbling around. Oh my god! I was a jizzler.
Yeah.
No, what's it called?
The Jizzler's
No,
good. I mean,
when
why
you're making
not?
shoes.
A cordwainer.
A cordwainer already.
You're a cordwainer.
Yeah. So we started putting
Jizzler.
cord
I don't know. I'm
jizzler.
going to start saying I've got many skills. One of which is I'm a jizzler.
So
I'm
we
a
started
fine jizzler.
coating our like things with like pound coins. We have like
How-
3 weeks. And then at one
How
point,
much
I
did you
just
get in there? Like 20 quid, though. I mean,
no,
come on.
30, 40 quid. We were going because we were doing a little bit of pockets, a little bit of coat, putting in the lining, but the shoes.
It's like
was
me
the
bringing that
best
money
one.
back from Prague. I told you about it, didn't I?
No.
And
What
I
did
thought
Like
everybody's watching.
14 grand in like cash. I had
How do you-
to smuggle back into the country.
What is wrong with you two?
Where did
You-
this go? Wow, we're now into
Okay,
like
we've gone-
full-scale smuggling.
Right, go.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone's entitled to compensation from you two.
Yeah,
as
we
usual
are.
as
We
well.
are like international money
I've
Crims.
money
I've
smugglers.
really
Budgie-
missed
budgie
out on
smugglers.
this.
You got a load of rubles up your jack seat.
Don't even ask what's up there. But let's just
Storing it for a
say,
rainy
yeah.
day. I've got,
Did
still got
somebody
those pound
order a
coins
mule?
from Bugley's up there.
It's a load of defunct Egyptian
Some old pound
riaz, what they
coins.
called.
Some lira.
Do you remember that pound coin, the original one?
It's up there.
Yeah, it's up there.
You can
It's like-
slot machine.
What
Is
were
that
you
what
doing
you were
bringing
calling
for-
it? Yeah.
Do we need to talk about you bringing 40? What were you doing?
What am I doing?
What were you doing bringing £14,000?
Oh no,
Yeah,
it's a very
through your
legal.
ring
It's
of
very
time.
legal. Yeah.
Sounds really
It's very
illegal.
legal, but
Yeah.
it was a way. I can't really talk about it actually, but it was funny.
Oh,
I'll tell you off camera,
sure,
but it
fine.
was kind
Yeah.
of funny.
Okay,
but-
there was something up.
No, just
Two-
because
both of
it's
them. I've
fine.
not-
Is it too good?
100% legal.
I haven't done any smuggling of any kind. Just saying.
None.
I mean, this whole. Can I just say this whole topic of conversation was supposed to be we're entitled to compensation
But
as
hang
an
on, what a
artist.
waste of that
And-
real estate in her
and
boots.
wh- and what-
know.
You could fit like quite a lot in
Oh
those.
my god!
I know.
So first of all, leg on the table because people need to know what we're talking about.
You could fit
How
like a
the
lot
fuck
of
could you not
contraband.
put-
A lot of contraband in there.
Do you realise how many pound coins you could get in there?
You could get a couple of marmosets. You know the the illegal. You know the illegal animal trade. You could get a
I
couple of
really
snakes.
want some marmosets. I want
Yeah.
a small pygmy goat inside my shoe.
with a sloth hanging on the side.
Yeah,
It's fashion.
yeah.
It is fashion.
Well, it makes me at least tall.
Yes.
I wish I had.
Have
those
we?
boots.
Have
I mean, like, we haven't, to be honest, we haven't even, there's been so much spoken about, we haven't even asked, we haven't even answered
We haven't
the
even asked your name. What's your name?
Oh yeah. By the way, sorry, I'm looking for the Pizza Express. Is this the right address?
This was Unit 3, yeah? No.
Sorry.
Babe.
You know what? Karl made me write a list to make
What
this
on
more
this list?
Yeah,
organised.
But what is
time.
this? Am I involved in this list? Or is it
No,
Oh,
not?
he
you
made me
fucked
write-
our list.
I know,
He-
sorry.
He made me write a list, and I was just like, yeah, sure, but I think it's going to go a
We
bit
did do
rogue.
quite good. Up to like point 3.
Is any of what we've said usable?
All of
It's
it. All of
it,
it's
yeah.
usable.
Is it emotionally usable
No, just in a court of law, babe.
against us?
Against us. It's all usable.
I mean, I
It's
think
all
what we've,
evidence.
I think what we've worked out today is that my idea of compensation is that you two have caused a lot of compensation claims so
Yeah.
far. Do you know
We've
what I mean?
tried to make amends, haven't we? I'd say.
we have
Yeah,
to
you
We
have
decide.
to.
do. We're
Makes
trying to do
sense.
it now.
So does he get the compensation or does his
No, he's-
mum get the compensation?
I think
I
we
think
both
Rob,
already
I
got it,
think
haven't
Rob's
we?
made his own. I think you've made your own. I think I really need some lessons from both of you, quite frankly. Do you know what I mean?
Onto, yeah.
I feel like I've
into
filled out
smuggling.
way too many grant forms, and that is like the torture of being an artist.
I
is
wish
that
I
you
could get a grant.
This is why I don't call myself nice, because I actually want money, if I'm honest.
Well, sure,
Yeah.
so do I. But
If
the,
I'm
the
honest.
illusion is that you have the. I think the
The
punishment for being
illusion
an
is
artist.
money will come. It won't.
No.
I like to.
That's the
And
illusion.
also, and also, I think the illusion is that I think the problem is that people. It's such a smoke and mirrors career, as in no one can. If you say how do you get the Venice Biennale, everyone's like, oh,
Yeah.
you must do this, this, and this. And I've had like art advisors and various different people over the years, and they can never give you a straightforward answer. Well, there's still the fucking advice is to go to a private view, hang around, don't
Yeah, that's
say
not-
hello, and then like that's still the advice, which is like the
Yeah.
worst
I know,
care
yeah.
advice. You can't contact a gallery directly. The fact a gallery still takes 50% off you, and then dicks around on a sale and return more or less basis with your work for God knows how long.
Yeah.
I mean, I've spent hundreds of thousands of pounds worth of work to galleries. They've sat on it for like a year, and then they've sent it all back. They could have like sold, like they're getting 50%. It's wild.
Well, this is why the only
And then
reason
the
that
only it's the illusion of like, oh, you're not commercial. It's like you can sell fucking tartan paint. Like everything.
But that's the reason.
Yeah.
The reason I'm not that punchbag staying where it is because the only time it's coming back to is when someone's
Wants to spend 100
spend
grand.
100 grand on it, because they've also bought some clobber from me.
Yeah, no.
And then they want the next thing from.
No, that's
so, and I
true.
would not call myself an artist. I'll say I make you this.
No, sure.
As
Okay,
an artisan, and then you can have that.
Sure, but
That's how I'd do it.
that's fine. It's just
Personally.
that I'm paying for a lot of storage. I am paying for my own storage. That's the difference. You're not paying for that storage.
No, I am. Well, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
you
know
am.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
And I just think there's like hundreds of £1,000s worth of artwork, and you're like in this. It's like the loop of how. It's kind of a wild loop of like you. There's no direct.
I think the thing is also
To
what I've found is that I'm because I'm making sculptures at the moment. That's what I've been doing for the last 6 months. But
Wearable sculptures? Or?
Yeah.
No. There's freestanding like I'll show you one day. They're very early days at the moment, but they're going to be paintings as well. So they're art if you want to, and sculptures. But I'm not going to. I refuse to call myself an artist because I think that. Just as an exercise, I don't
Fair
want to
enough.
call myself an
I
artist.
don't want to be an artist.
Because
so
also
like,
I want-
what else do I call myself?
Also,
then?
I've kind of garnered and worked towards a bit of respect for doing what I do in the wearable stuff. I don't want to then just wash it, throw it all away by just trying to call myself an artist. I think that there's a way of doing it. I'm not knocking other eyes. I just think that the way that I can see it going is. The work will meet the eyes that need to find it.
Sure, that's a
through
nice way of putting it.
without going through that, jumping through those hoops of being what's associated with being called an artist. If you know
Listen,
what I mean.
I totally agree. I've not got any attachment to the world art. It's just the work,
Yeah.
thing. It's just like I feel like it's an archetype that is given that is a blessing and a curse. And mostly a curse at the moment.
Yeah, mostly a curse.
It's like after 25 years, I'm tired in it, and I feel like to have integrity in it is almost like a pointless task on some level, especially in London.
Yeah,
it's very difficult to be an artist in London
Yeah.
if you're not like fully supported within that, because you're still dealing with it's very gate kept, and then also you're dealing with. I mean, like ultimately, the difference between us three here is we'll be like, here's something I've made. It's physical. It's there. It exists. Or a drawing, which we know we can make. And then you're dealing with the rest of people that are just like, oh, I can do this for you. I can do this, this, and this. And that's all. It turns out to be, there's very few. It's ephemeral kind of bullshit, on some level.
Well,
There's
I think
a lot
also,
of people
like-
that talk a lot of talk. But when it comes down to it, I think there's something very difficult when you can make a physical thing.
Yeah, I mean, and also for me, I've learned I've had I'd say quite long experiences in 3 or 4 different directions. Where I worked in telly before, I worked in doing this costume and working a bit in fashion. And the thing is, you kind of see that, film. I've never gone the route you're supposed to go in that, because I just saw it. It works for some people, it just wouldn't work for me. Same with art. I could go down a route. It works for other people the way that they do it. It wouldn't work for me. So you kind of have to carve out your own niche, and you're going to lose sometimes. You're going to. There is such a. It has been for like the last 20, 30 years I've been involved, but it has always been a kind of, like you say, gatekeepers stopping you from going a certain route, or you need to go through them. I've seen that in every industry I've done. Like you're always going to find someone saying that you're doing it wrong, or if you only do it the way they say, that it's going to work. And I'm sure it is true. It's like you could have that normal life, you could have that route. It does help if you've got rich parents, obviously. But I find that if you are trying to do something that is a bit unique and it is your thing, as you get older, you realise there is a you do have a value if you are doing it a different way. I don't know how to say. I think that forget those gatekeepers. I know you have to sort of be around them, but you can find another way.
Sure, but I think in general that
I don't like to put myself in an industry, let alone a category. That's what I'm saying, I think. Because as soon as I say I'm an artist, then I'm suddenly, then all of the doors, all the little switches take me down a certain path. And I think that if I just don't call myself that at the beginning, anyone else can look at my work and say, that's art though. Say, well, that's your decision, but I'm putting it here and I've got people that like it for whatever their reason is, whether they want to call it art. So I'm just trying to stop those little words making the switch happen, an on-off switch happen at somewhere down the route. It's just a little trick for my own sanity.
No, I think
you end up the same product.
I think it's a good trick.
Yeah, it's made you think. I saw your face. You were in deep there. You were like, how can I make this happen?
Back to Bagley's.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyway, back to my cock story.
I'm just now thinking about the flyers that I used at my club, which were like on some photocopy at Croydon College or something. Yours were like
Carl's
actual like
doing like laser.
prism. Like sort of like.
Do you know what I did for Café de Paris though? I made like 500 hand-stitched skulls with goggly eyes on.
Wow.
For like free.
Café de Paris.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, it was for a night called Merkin. I mean, I can't believe that I think I stitched them for like a month.
What was that one?
And they were all the VIPs
Merkin.
got them.
Did you guys go to
Merkin,
Billion Dollar Babes? Was that around? I'm a bit older, but was that?
No, I didn't.
Billion Dollar Babes was the
I
big
remember
one.
seeing that.
Raw. No, what's it called? That one
But
down
I
the
am
top.
younger than
corner.
both of you two. I'd just like to point that out.
There was the one that went under
Yeah.
Substation
don't
South. That used to
The
go
Billion Dollar Babe,
underground.
and Davina McCall was the door girl.
Oh yeah.
She used to be the door girl on it before she found fame. But that was very glamorous. I remember that being fun.
I don't think I went to
Do you
Billion Dollar
remember
I
Babe.
remember wearing a
first
white
show.
fur coat, and then suddenly I was with somebody who was painted like a red devil. And when I came out, it was all just a body print of their red all over my white coat. Could never get it out, but I wore it afterwards. I thought it's fine. I've got
It's
a
fine,
human
it's
body in red. On a,
Yeah.
Petter has been
Yeah,
at me. My word.
Yeah.
It's
Was it
like
real fur?
early Petter.
Yeah. But it's
I mean, maybe on the. It's almost.
Have we done it?
Well, no, but you could be entitled to compensation for that.
For that
the
as well.
End,
Yeah.
The end.
Look for the man who was painted red. He owes me.
So
big time.
after all that, we've basically come to the conclusion
Yeah.
that that's where your compensation lies.
a man who was painted
Yeah.
red in
Yeah.
1992.
That's all you're allowed.
Onto a white coat.
Because
I'd have hit the
you've been
shitters.
sponsored
Yeah.
by.
And my
Singer.
compensation is the
Yeah.
dry cleaning bill, which
Yeah.
would have been
Yes.
about £4.70 then.
So that's what
That's
we've come
it.
down to.
£4.70.
If you'd
That's
be
it.
happy with that.
Yeah, £4.70, please.
Good.
No. I mean, I
There we
can't
go.
give you it,
Claim
but I can see. I
approved.
can see.
Stamp.
Yeah,
Stamp.
that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I feel
Yeah.
satisfied.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
thanks
joining
for
us for
coming.
this Christmas
Yeah. Thanks
edition.
for teabagging us Christmas style.
I don't really know.
Wasn't that a song by
That's
Shakin' Stevens?
Not how I thought anything should end. You know, it'll work.
That's how our career has just ended.
Before it began. Shucks.
In a gutter.
Yeah.
From the gutter, goodbye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye. From PG Tips, bye.
3, 2, 1. Welcome to the machine.